Hello world, this is Taurean Washington here, second episode of Talking About Art. We have a special guest, big staple in the French community, the music scene, the art scene. We have here with us Ricole Barnes. So how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful, sir, and how are you?
Doing good. We're talking about art. We're covering the whole gamut just of all the arts, music, art, film, and you're a creative in all facets. And I've been seeing you for years, what you've been doing and the impact that you've been making with Frederick and beyond. And so we have you here, just share with the guests your gifts, what you do. And so with our first question, so what about music gravitated to you? Like what was it your experience as an early age with music, and how'd you come about your origins in this craft of music?
So Jim Henson, the Muppet Show. They used to tons of musicals within the show. That's what gravitated me to music the first time, right? Just hearing the songs that they would create on that show. So I'm like maybe 3 or 4 years old, and I'm just singing along to the songs, and it started with that. And then I always have to credit my maternal grandfather, the late Robert Logan. He was a soul, blues, jazz, funk connoisseur. He was a drummer himself, so I spent a lot of time with him, setting in he and my grandmother's living room, listening to records, and from that it was extended family. I had a cousin named BJ who was at that time an up-and-coming hip-hop artist, and now he goes by Jim Phoebe. He put me on the hip-hop, so it was those three things: Jim Henson, my grandfather, and then my cousin.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so those are the things that kind of your formation of music. And I know a lot of times, we want to put artists in a box, but like even just listening to your catalog is very eclectic. And so I kind of had another question, but I know typically in the world of hip hop, it's very competitive, barbershop talk, top five. Yeah. So I kind of wanted to ask you who your top five are, but I don't want to just limit it to hip hop, but just in general.
Okay.
Who are your top five artists of all time? Mount Rushmore. I know I think it's 4 people on Mount Rushmore. I don't know, yeah. But even just your top five of all time.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to answer that question.
Okay.
Right? Can I give you my top 5 MCs?
Oh, okay.
And then I have what I call a holy trinity of
Let's
artistry.
Let's do it.
I'll give you my top 5 MCs in no particular order.
Yes.
It's Jay-Z, Nas, the Notorious B.I.G., Black Thought, and Andre 3000. That 5 right there is like the model in which they were all classes, right? Like
yes.
literally, if I went to school, I would have had 5 periods, and I would have went to each class and studied each artist. And those are the people that I look for when it comes to the pen game. So those are my 5 MCs. I have a holy trinity of artistry.
Okay, holy trinity.
And it's funny because my favorite artist of all time, I just got to see him live and in concert this past Tuesday in Baltimore, and that's Stevie Wonder. Wow. Stevie Wonder is probably my all-time favorite artist just when it comes, he's my North Star when it comes to just creativity, songwriting, presentation, vocal delivery, and everything. And being that we have the same sign, he's a Taurus, I'm a Taurus. I'm May 8th, he's May 13th. I've always had that connection with Stevie Wonder. So then it's Stevie on one point of the triangle, and then the next triangle is the Beatles. I love the Beatles. Yeah, just the highest form of musical palette. That it doesn't get any better in that regards of just the breadth in the scope of music, of popular music when it comes to the Beatles. And then I've really been given, it's not that I've been giving it thought, but it's really been changing over time, this last person. It goes up and down, right? It's so if you notice Stevie Wonder's soul and R&B, and the Beatles are pop and rock.
Yes.
So then you get to hip hop. At one moment it's Pharrell Williams, and then sometimes it's Kanye West.
Ooh,
right?
Okay.
Just art off of pure artistry with Kanye
Yes.
West. Because I know I got to put a disclaimer on that when I say.
Yes.
I'm strictly off of artistry.
Yes.
Take everything else out of it.
Understood. Yes, sir.
So I tell you, we'll do Pharrell Williams A and Kanye West B, and I know that's more than a trinity. That's a quad something.
No, I understood.
Because I answered this question a few weeks ago, and my girlfriend Tessa was like, and I just said strictly Kanye. She's like, "You sure about that? I thought Pharrell," and not even because the controversy, just like you love Pharrell, like you love Pharrell. You're not gonna put Pharrell in that, so A and B is Pharrell and Kanye.
And we can go on a whole other debate on that one, but just in terms of, I mean, and that's why they've always been kind of iron sharpening iron, especially the days of the Rockefeller you know, Jay-Z recruiting and listening to both of them at different times.
Yes.
But definitely, yes, I love your taste, and I know that's like the whole thing. If we're sitting here in the barbershop talking, that's a lot of times they're saying who's better than who, who's the best MC, but then even just your quadrant or your
forget the interchangeable trinity out the window. Yeah.
I like how you had those choices as well. Even I think your choice on the Beatles, that speaks to a lot of your catalog. I'm seeing, and that kind of goes to, you know, you've done so much. I've seen you are part of the Mood, the band. You also one half of Bikes. You had a solo career. So, what are your biggest accomplishments as a musician in your career? Like what things you're really proud of at the end of the day, like what you've done so far?
A few things. I'll say first and foremost is staying true to myself, right? Like I started putting music out publicly in 2004, right? And at that time, like there was like, especially when it came to mainstream, like there was a certain way you had to make hip hop music to be a popular figure. And I also can credit Kanye from kind of changing that guard. I mean, it was happening. Obviously, you know, you had the era, you had the native tongue eras, and I'm cut from that cloth. I'm cut from the native tongue pipeline to Kanye, Pharrell pipeline. But when I came out as an independent artist, like you had to be, it seemed like you had to be one type of way in hip hop to get through the door, and that just never really was me. I stuck to my core values, and it's now sticking to my core values and continuing to just be who I am. I always say that I make music in my image, right? That has gotten me in positions that I'm in now. It's actually got me sitting at this table by staying true to myself. I'd say locally in Frederick City and County, just being the first to do a lot of things when it came to being a hip hop artist and being on certain platforms and stages. Super proud of that. And I always say that I'm also proud that I had an impact and influence when I didn't think I did. Because now, 20 plus years later, there's not a day that goes by in Frederick where I'm not, I don't feel that I don't feel that appreciation from folks that just say, yo, I love what you're doing, or I seen you perform here, or when's the next show, or congratulations on your position with the what, like you deserve it and stuff like that. And not that I look for those compliments, like I truly don't look for it. I don't go looking for it. People come up to me, and it just lets me know that I stayed the course, and I think I did it my way.
And see, like, and like when you, in terms of just, just like, I think that you, like, because you're kind of like not even mentioned the Frederick News Post as several times featuring you, and then also with just the scene of Frederick, just the support locally. Like, this is a very great city and town to support the arts. I've always seen just an investment in the arts and like everything that they're doing in the programming, City of Frederick. So big ups to City of Frederick, and even just some, and also some of you guys that may not know some of the talk we're talking, because you're mentioning native tongues and Q-Tip, Tribe Called Quest,
going in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
De La, Jungle Brothers, like a bit. But even when mentioning how you're talking about your influence of Kanye and Pharrell, And instantly, when you said native tongues, I'm thinking Q-Tip and how he's eclectic as well.
Absolutely.
So
I'm cut from that tree.
My
like
goodness,
if,
yes.
If Kanye and Pharrell are my big brothers, then Q-Tip's my uncle. Stevie Wonder's my musical father.
Yes.
You know, you could go.
And-
it could go.
and even like Ribbon in the Sky, that gets me crying every time.
Oh man, I wish he would have played that at the show on Tuesday.
Yes.
He left hits on the table.
Yes.
But that's one I cried actually
Yes.
at the show. I mean,
Oh, my
I cried
goodness.
about 2 or 3 times. So
Yeah. And so in terms of like, and I know we have a couple more questions because we have a live performance. We have a live performance. You're going to be letting your talents full on display. So we have a couple more questions before we get to the performance. And we'll also talk about your prestigious position you just earned with the Y, Frederick. But in terms of real quick about your studio process, like, you know, everybody has certain things, you know, I don't know, sunflower seed. I don't know, like what's like your essentials? Like when you come into the studio getting your space of inspiration, what do you need? What does Retro Ricole Barnes need in the studio, like to get started?
well, I'd say that I actually prefer home studio recording.
Okay.
I've recorded most of the music that you would have heard from me solo was recorded in a home, whether that was my home or the engineer's home. But if I'm at the studio, much like a studio like this,
Okay.
I just need water.
Okay.
I've recorded in chaotic studios where there's 20 people moving in and out. I've recorded in studios where it's just me and the engineer, and I don't need much to go in there and to lay vocals and throw out ideas. I really don't need much. Just give me some water so I don't get parched. And
Man, okay.
yeah, I gave that question some thought, but that's all I could come up with is
Hey,
hydrogen.
but water is
and
essential.
oxygen.
H2O, you know.
Yeah.
So going into what we're about to talk about, this big moment in Frederick, and I mean, and you're saying like doing things your way, and all those things are kind of building upon itself. And now you've been appointed like was it the site director of the arts for the Y of Maryland? I mean, Y of Frederick.
Site director of the Y Arts Center.
Okay.
I'd like to also say that a creative director as well. So site and creative director of the Y Arts Center in downtown Frederick.
So, you know, what does that feel like? And like, can you speak on like the role, because this is a big organization in our community. Yeah. So, like, what are you going to be taking on with this role?
Well, so in addition to simultaneously while I was making records and performing, I was also working with the Y. So this is now 20 years of me working with the Y. And I started working with, in those 20 years, I worked with them in the before and after school program, much like yourself. So at this point, it's crazy because I've watched a whole generation grow up in that 20-year span. The Y Art Center came along actually during the pandemic. The Y had leased the Osherman Foundation, which is a huge foundation in Frederick, and you know they have their hands in a lot of property around here. They leased it to the Y during the pandemic, so we opened that building during that time. The wonderful Anthony Brock, who is the director of the Arts and Humanities Department, works out of that building. Him and I was having conversations about me coming over and basically coming over and seeing how can we grow the department, but also make people aware of the Y Arts building, and just to make that the creative and cultural hub of Frederick City and Frederick County. So there was initial talks with that. I had conversations with the CEO. I was kind of, figuring out my next move. Was it going to be within the Y, in the before and after school department, or making a transition to another department where it would make sense for me. Obviously, the Arts and Humanities Department made a whole lot of sense just because of the relationships that I had built outside of the Y with my music career. CEO thought it was a great idea for me to come over. Anthony, the director of the department, thought it was a great idea to come over, so they just created a position for me, which was the site director and creative director. And I've been in that position since June. They made the announcement probably a little bit over a month ago, and ever since they made that announcement, I didn't think it was going to create the kind of algorithm that it did when they announced it, but you know, it on
I'm telling
social
you, like,
media when it
because I'm connected with a few people and they put this on blast, like all the Frederick community, and I'm like, I know him. I know, like, at least, like, I'm not like, it's like, I know he knows me. Like, if I see him, like, you know, it's like, because I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, like, don't forget the little people, because, you know, if I see you somewhere, like, I know Ricole, man, Ricole. He can be like, so I don't want you to be like, oh, I don't know him. But no, but I just really, for myself, I just want to, like, really take this time to give you your flowers. This is an amazing, like, achievement and a status to, and I know what you have is going to come with a lot of responsibility, but I know you've been equipped for it. Like, the position was made for you, based on what you, and this is all in the relationships you built, the reputation that you've established, the work that you've done, the influence and impact that you've made with the community and just all the stakeholders. So just for them to pour that back, and then now you get to use what you built all this time as an instrument, like, pun intended, to give to this community. So
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And
we have, you know, if anybody wants to know what happens inside the Y Art Center, we run programs, we run dance programs, we run art programs. We have a music studio inside with a on-site recording engineer. We run and we also partner with other businesses too. We have a Peabody School of Music in there with John Hopkins. The Frederick Children's Chorus works out of there. And then again, we run programs through the YMCA. You can sign up for them at any time. We have different sessions. We are in our Fall 2 session.
Oh, wow.
If you're interested in signing up for any of the classes, you can check out www.frederickymca.org and go to the program section, to the arts and humanities section, and you'll see what we offer coming out of that building.
Man, well, shout out to the Y of Maryland. So we have 2 last questions. We're gonna wrap up and get you ready to perform. So, so just real quick, do you have any, like, preview as to what's to come? Like, any upcoming projects you want to just mention, or just a little feel of, like, hey, what people expect from Retro Ricole?
Yes. So, and I to go off the why.
Yes.
I'll start with the why. And the funny thing is, you're asking me this. I can't say. I think I had this conversation with you. I think I told you off camera. Can't say on camera because it hasn't been confirmed yet. But there's something big. And when I walk away from the YMCA as a whole, I would like that to be my lasting legacy outside of the before and after school program in which I put into all those years. But there's a huge project that I'm invested in, that I'm going to be invested in if I get the okay and green light. And I think it's going to leave a significant mark on not just the YMCA, but Frederick City and County as a whole. Now, for myself as an artist, I'm trying to drop this album that I've been working on for probably 6 years now.
Okay.
I think it's only right that I drop it in 2025 because the last time my official album came out as a Retro Ricole album, I've released mixtapes and things like that, after, but official album, the last time it was released was 2015. That was my album, Mr. Sunrise. So my new album is called On an Axis, and I figured I might as well just make it a 10-year gap between that album and this album.
Man.
Reason why I'm wearing this shirt, Neck Music, is it's produced by C's producer, a DMV producer by the name of C's, representing his crew, Neck Music. Shouts out to Iodine P. He produced all 10 tracks.
I heard his name, Iodine. Yeah.
Okay, and the album is executive produced by the great, illustrious Bernard Rollins. My childhood and best friend who.
Shout out to Bernard, man.
Bernard Artwork.
The Nard Works. Yes.
Great Bernard Artwork. A wonderful illustrator. I hope that you can get him on the show one day.
Me and him have to reconnect, but I always gave him his props. He actually helped me out with projects I had. He illustrated a cover for me. So big up to Bernard Rollins, amazing artist. He's almost like big brother to me in terms of in this area. I was like, so it's almost like, I feel like it's like kind of like a friendly rivalry, but like it's always love and he had a stomach complex. So that's a whole bunch of stuff for him. But
so he picked all of C's beats. He literally hit C's up. Was like, yo, I'll take that beat, that beat, that beat, that beat, that beat. This is for Ricole, and gave them to me, and I've been setting with them. And the album's recorded.
Woo.
It just needs to get mixed, and I figure like 2025 would be the time to release it.
So we just giving y'all a little sample.
So on
what's
an
to come.
axis,
Yes.
sometime in 2025.
Sometime 2025. So real quick before we get ready for this live performance, y'all gotta be ready for this. Any words for any up and coming artist that wants to do what you're doing, or like what would you say to the young artist that's out there?
I would say there's an audience for everyone. You know what I mean? Continue to work at your craft, perfect your craft, put in your 10,000 hours, and then put in another 10,000 hours. You know what I mean? Never stop. And if you haven't achieved your goal, keep at it, because I am living proof of it's a marathon and not a race. For me to get to where I am now, where the arts is strictly my profession. Like when people ask me now what I do, I'm in the arts, you know, and from just being an artist myself, and then playing in 2 additional bands, creative and site directing at the YMCA, DJing as well. My life is, I get paid to be creative. And,
That's amazing.
You know, I took the long road to get there. I tried college for a little bit. And I was majoring in communications, but I had so many other distractions. So that's another thing that brings this full circle, just being in this room and just watching all the students here. This is what I would have been doing had I stayed focused.
Oh, yeah.
But it worked out, you know, like I said, it's full circle.
You came back full circle. So
yeah.
Thank you so much, Ricole. You guys are in for a treat. We're going to cut and segue out into a live studio performance from Ricole Bonds. All right, talking about art. We're going to check it out in just a second.
Peace. Yo, piece of Taurean Washington and all the hood college blazers that I see. I'm Ricole, Frederick, Maryland, born and raised. Check it. B told me dig deeper, and I'ma do that like Big Peters. But right now I'm in 2 feet of all the women getting giddy, announcement new releases. Basically for the retro, but no sneakers. And if you in my position, you wouldn't switch the defense. Attempting all type of goals, hitting all type of. Man, I made all Madden for rapping like 80s Joe. Montana mess with me, Helena, let's do a show. Fritz, let's make a record. Let Molly know. That's a state scheme, play off the globe. And I'm trying to travel that like a turnover, yo. Oh, blow your whistle, life is too short. People think it's 90 nostalgic, but dead at your trolls. Relevant in your fairy tales, it's fiction as those. You follow me so you can get the picture. You're thirsty as them Instagram. Word to Congo, mud face. If I'm a lead you to a thirst trap, might as well catch me on a guap chase. And like the road that Pac played, Bishop, your standards, you with the top lane. Tell me when you drop pain. Oh my gosh, when the came is when it really got ratchet like a flat change. Another rap genius ball jizzle from the Wu-Tang. And there's plenty more where that came from. I keep calm and blow up. I keep calm and blow up. Hey, keep calm and blow up. I represent dreams, got my team in this. I keep calm and blow up. Hey, keep calm and blow up. I keep calm and blow up. I represent dreams, got my team in this. I want it for all my dogs, that's a master's wishes. Success for all my and diamonds for my. And I mean that in the proper term. Do look up the dictionary. Never say that he's part of God's intentions. I mean I'm K here on Mother's Day. In my out this instant, father by her side and he's still there. Man up to your responsibilities, dependence. Don't try to and blame it on the system. Can't wait to have my firstborn, raise him like she's Simba or raise her like she's Vincent. Call her Ivy Blue, got nothing on the type of privilege I'ma give to you, but I'm not gonna spoil. We gonna preserve all the nutrients and herbs of our ancestors' morals. Hard work, loyal. T's grandson, the completed the cycle. I'm about black excellence and multicultural ones. If I get off this platform, step it on your lungs. Forward like Blake, Griffin, Bosch, Kevin Love. Until we out this like the birth of a pup. Self-motivation, plant a tree. Step your game up, Balboa with your knees. Unless you know Kim Jong and living in Korea. You in the right place, custom fitted GA. I keep calm and blow up. I keep calm and blow up. Hey, I keep calm and blow up. I represent dreams, got my team in this. I keep calm and blow up. Hey, I keep calm and blow up. I keep calm and blow up. I represent dreams, got my team in this. I keep calm and blow up. Hey, I keep calm and blow up. I keep calm and blow up. I represent dreams, got my team in this. Let's talk about it. I'm Retro Ricole. Peace. Yeah. On an Axis coming soon. Peace to Beanard and Tessa.